Last night it was quite the debut for one of the pieces of the Athletics' future. Backstop Sean Murphy got the nod behind the dish and made quite an impression. Murphy belted a home run for his first big league hit, and he backed it up with catching a shutout as the Green and Gold took Game 2 from the Halos. Today, the Athletics go for the 3-game sweep as September baseball is upon us and this pennant chase tightens up daily. Every game is a must-win as the AL wildcard begins to heat up. A's and Angels, final game of the series. Next. It's a beautiful day for baseball here in Oakland. It's the A's going for the sweep of the Angels. Mike Trout, he's got a home run in this series, although he was quiet in last night's game. And the big left-hander Brett Anderson's going to take the hill for the A's. A's and Angels coming up on NBC Sports California, powered by Xfinity. Hey again, everybody. Welcome to Oakland A's Baseball. Along with Ray Fosse, I'm Glenn Kuiper. One of the A's hottest hitters the last couple weeks has been Jurickson Profar. Bob Melvin making sure he keeps that bat in the lineup, Ray. Tuesday night, Profar was at second base. Last night, he started out in left field. He's done a great job swinging the bat, especially from the right side. Left-handed, he's a switch hitter, so he can hit from both sides. Last night, he did it from the right side. The only hit given up by Sandoval was a home run to right center field from the right-handed hitting Profar. But I thought what he did in the outfield was spectacular. A couple of diving catches, playing shallow, taking hits away, doing a great job, showing his versatility. But you have a player that's swinging the bat well, you find a place for him. Defensively, they put him in left field. He did an exceptional job. All right, taking the mound for the A's this afternoon is Brett Anderson. He will be looking for his career-high 12th win of the season. For more on Brett, let's head downstairs to another left-hander, Dallas Braden.
And guys, he's going to be going against a Los Angeles Angels team that he's frankly had success against throughout the entirety of his career. Hasn't stopped this season as well. You take a look at the numbers, 2-0, 13 2/3 innings pitched, only 5 knocks allowed for Brett Anderson. Continuing a nice string of starts and really continuing that friendly competition we've seen grow within that starting rotation.
All right, so Brett Anderson and the Athletics trying to finish off the sweep of a struggling Angels ball club, even though they have a very good lineup. But the A's see if they can finish the 3-game sweep today. Lineups and first pitch from the Coliseum. When we come back, it's the A's and the Angels. So blue skies over. Let's take a look at the lineup for the visiting Angels. That lineup is brought to you by Southwest Airlines, and here it is. Fletcher will lead off at third. Trout is in center. Pujols at first. Goodwin in left. Upton will DH today. Calhoun back in there in right. Simmons at short. Rengifo is at second. Kevin Smith is your catcher.
Brett Anderson, as Dallas noted, has pitched well against the Angels this year, trying to win number 12 on the season. Picked up a win in his last start. He's been given a lot of run support in his starts and hopes that is the case again this afternoon. The A's would love to have the sweep. As we talked about, series wins are good, but not in September. Try to win it all.
So Fletcher steps in, and we're set for baseball. Brett Anderson kicks and deals. First pitch is in for a strike. Umpires today.
First pitch.
That is James Hoy calling balls and strikes, and Brian O'Nora, the crew chief, is down at third.
Brett Anderson's first start of the season against the Angels on the 30th of March. 6 innings, 3 hits, not a run scored against him. 3 of the last 4 is not allowed a run, so a good guy to have on getaway for the Angels in the final game of the series for the Athletics.
Center field where Canna backs up. Now front of the warning track, and he makes the catch. So 1 away here in the first inning. Defensively, Profar again in left field. Canna in center. Pinders in right. Chapman, Simeon, Noisy, and Olson on the infield, and Fegley is your catcher.
I think that breaking ball he just throws probably not a good location for some hitters.
Like this guy?
Yeah.
Get the bad one out of the way before you face Trout.
Yeah, bounce it, do something. Skipper always intent, ready to manage.
Well, I guess what's nice about that pitch to Fletcher is he's a guy that you're not necessarily worried about hurting you with power.
Yep.
And we've seen what he can do with mistakes. We've seen his ability to spray the baseball. And again, keeping him off of the base paths, knowing what's behind him and Mike Trout, always a victory in and of itself.
Trout with a home run on Tuesday night. He's 1 for 7 in the series.
I think with Fletcher, we've seen him take curveballs from right-handers to right field. Curveball breaking pitch from Anderson was hit to center field, so maybe the breaking ball coming into him. Good numbers against Mike Trout for Brett Anderson.
Grounded in the hole. Simeon backhands. This throw to first. Not in time.
I checked that. Simeon took a little bit extra time, surprisingly, and then threw from the side. Trout can run. Is this reputation? Is the ball there? Ball's in the glove to the heel.
Batting in the third position, first base.
See the heel and the toe, but Marcus, actually that time it looked like he just took a little extra time, but man, Trout can fly, especially hitting the ball to the left side the way he did, out of the box quickly.
So it is a base hit for Trout.
Unfortunately, that horrible word is probably considered by Adam Roden.
Well, watch here what we're talking about. Just a little bit of that right there, that slight hesitation, that's all it took for Mike Trout to be able to beat this ball out. And really, it's more so just about Marcus Simeon reinforcing the grip he has on the ball.
Pujols high and foul.
And that's we've seen guys in the past, and we've seen Marcus in the past. He's made the adjustment, but they'll go to that tap into the glove just to kind of, like I said, reinforce that grip. But for a guy like Mike Trout, even just a slight jostling of the ball in your hand is all it's going to take.
So 1-1 to Albert Pujols, who has a home run in this series. Chapman juggles, and Pujols is going to hustling down the line, and everybody's going to be safe. So it went from what would have been a double play, and he's getting nobody.
Well, the high hop, he's trying to catch it on the short hop, probably got it in his glove, but then bobbled it. And at that point, instead of being able to go to second base right there, that's when he, on the transfer, bobbled the ball. And then Albert Pujols, although not really fleet of foot, he probably was trying to avoid a double play. Ends up hustling, and Matt Chapman could not even get him at first base. But there's the transfer. Just lost it. He did come up with it, but on the transfer, bobbled it, and at that point, have to put it in your pocket. That wasn't.
That's not a hit.
Wow.
We love Matt Chapman, but that's not a hit. Well, I usually don't say too much about that, but
wow, now that's
Dallas.
Well, the only thing you can be wondering is, you know, you can't assume that double play, but at no point in time is that a knock.
No. Well, you can't assume a double play, but you can assume one out at first base, which would have not been a base hit if he had picked it and gone. And he's trying to turn the double play. That's just very, very.
And that pitch was right down the middle, and it was called a ball. What's going on, Ray?
You talked to Eddie Montague.
A little fired up today.
Yeah.
1-1 the count to Brian Goodwin. Watch this previous pitch to Goodwin, and this is the 0-1 pitch.
It had too much of the plate.
Pitch cast brought to you by Subway.
Wow.
2-1 the count.
Well, I think that's a good indicator of how many guys across the league probably rely on the physical presentation of the pitch, which is why I beat the drum so often about the catchers having to do a good job of making everything look presentable to the umpire, because that instance right there, that ball is down the middle, but because of how it was caught and how it was presented, it wasn't even a second thought to call it a ball.
Yeah, you know what? And I've been thinking about what you've been saying about that, and I do think there's some truth to it. And again, we talked about it today with Ed Matty. He said it's not framing.
No.
It's just pulling the ball back in.
Right.
But Dallas's point is if you do that enough, make every pitch at least look like a strike, even though it's not, it may help you at some point in the game. And I agree with that.
But then one simple way you can avoid all of that is turn the palm up. Because you turn the palm up, you're not taking it down. You're bringing it up essentially and giving that presentation with the palm up to look like a strike. You don't see that anymore from catchers.
Olson's got it. Fires to Simeon. Back to first. Not in time. Anderson may not have had his foot on the bag.
Yeah, that's what they call it first, that it was off the bag, and that's good call immediately because there's really no question as far as challenging it. Now, Matt Olson thinking too, although he cannot get back to the bag, and that is a tough play for Marcus Simeon because, as we always say, there's foul territory here. You have to make a good throw, and he threw it, but Brett Anderson could not catch it and get his foot on the bag at the same time. And there's the right foot. He's trying to feel for it, but as he caught it and then came down, runner was already there. Goodwin has good speed anyway. That's why Olson tried to hurry and get the throw to second.
So first and third, 2 away for Upton. Swing and a miss.
Well, this is the throw coming from Marcus Simeon, and it's a little bit behind. It's hard to make a double play throw that you normally would do with the pitcher covering because you're throwing to a moving target. And that's why you see pitchers try to hurry as quickly as they can to get to first base to be like a first baseman.
Curve first strike, and it's 0-2.
And there's a couple different approaches you can take as a pitcher. If you have the opportunity to get over there in a timely fashion, you find that bag with your lead foot, the right one, and then you become the first baseman as a left-handed pitcher, extending away from the bag with that left foot. If you don't have the time, you try to do them both at the same time. And this is what we're talking about. You'll see him try to get to the bag, but he has to make the decision at this point in time to catch and try to tag the bag at the same time, kind of caught in between being able to become a first baseman and have to become reactionary.
Upton hits one toward right center. It's hit pretty well. Canna looking up, and it's off the top of the wall. 1 run scores. They're going to wave home Goodwin. And Goodwin's going to score, and it's a 2-out, 2-run double for Upton, and the Angels have an early lead. He almost pumped it out of here.
And because no error has been called, those runs are earned. But Upton, very good power going to the opposite field, as he has shown throughout his career against the Athletics.
Right off the top of the wall.
I thought he got it.
So Upton gets his 37th and 38th RBI. And here's Cole Calhoun. And the first pitch to Calhoun is inside.
I guess I better change the fielder's choice E5 to a base hit for Albert Pujols, huh?
Well, I put down base hit, but I got my whiteout ready. I just don't see the reasoning, because he had to move to his left quite a bit, but he fielded the ball cleanly. Right. It was on the exchange.
Transfer, yeah. And
Pujols is running.
And if he does have it cleanly in his hand, it's a double play.
2-1 the count to Cole Calhoun.
And you think about Fletcher with a fly ball to center field, then you have infield hit according to official score, the fielder's choice on a ground ball, and Upton's ball to the outfield for the double. One thing about Bard, the relief pitcher, as the opener, he's been throwing too much in the bullpen. Now, the Angels scored twice for the A's scored in the first game of the series. They'll have to do it again today with at least down by 2.
So Anderson, pitch number 25 coming up. It's a swing and a miss. He strikes out Calhoun. A couple of runs for the Angels. A's come to bat when we come back. Lead early, bottom of the first. Here's the Athletic starting lineup brought to you by Southwest Airlines. Simeon, Chapman, Olsen, Canna, Profar, Davis, Pinder, Noisy, Fegley. That's your Oakland A's starting lineup.
And the opener, Luke Bard, is on the mound as his last appearance against the Athletics on the 28th of June. He was the follower, as it was the opener of Ramirez, but the decision by the Angels to go to the reliever, as he has made 2 starts on the season of his 24 games, but you'd expect as the opener, he will not be in there that long. He's going to open the game out of the stretch. Fastball, slider, changeup are the pitches that he throws. He does throw the 2 and the 4-seam, actually just the 4-seam fastball, which should help the A's.
First pitch for strike.
But if you're an opener, you don't have to do anything but air it out, I guess.
And a quick 0-2 to Marcus Semien, who's 2 for 7 in the series.
You know, as I start to evaluate the opener and how it's utilized, one of the things I think about is the mindset for guys who have been tabbed or tasked with filling that role. And it's not necessarily an opener, in my opinion, at this point in time, and especially with where the Angels set as far as a roster and as far as the team in the standings. What it can become is an opportunity to show that not only can you get important outs, meaning 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 places in the lineup, but you can also maybe do it over the course of 2, 3 innings.
Ooh. And that got Marcus. It was clocked at 96 miles an hour. Let's see where exactly it got him.
Well, at 96 miles an hour, it squares him up right in that rib cage / hip area.
Love handle, got it. Wow.
Where's it at, Marcus? Right here.
So Marcus walks to first base. That was one of those that it hits you and then it digs in a little bit.
Yeah. Just like Tanner Roark last night, he said that his catcher, Sean Murphy, is now wearing number 93. That was the 93 on the chest that he took on the cross-up. Had to hit him direct to bounce as far as it did.
Here's Chapman. Matt Chapman had 258, 31 homers and 78 RBIs. Chapman 1 for 5 in the series. He's walked 3 times. Of course, that one hit is the 3-run homer. It again. Looked like the same swing at the same pitch.
Well, maybe after drilling Marcus Semien, Smith, the catcher, has called sliders, trying to get him to finish and finish outside.
Kevin Smith, the catcher, wanted a high fastball, and that's what Luke Bard did. After Bard is done with his 1 inning of work, it'll be a left-hander, Jose Suarez, that will come in and pitch for the Angels. Inside, and now it's 2-2.
And that pitch was supposed to be outside. See, that's the scary part. If your hitter is watching this, and it's got to be a little bit of a concern with the guy who's a little bit wild. I mean, and I don't know that it's effective wildness. I think it's just something that's happening, especially the pitch up and in keeps running on it.
Well, and if he is able to kind of dial it back in and get Matt Chapman to chase that breaking ball, that's where the effectively wild will come into play, working off that heater. But until he's able to get results, it's just wild, baby.
Yeah, exactly. Scary wild, especially throwing with that velocity.
That is just foul past Matt Williams. Defensively, this is how the Angels line up today. Goodwin's in left, Trout in center, Calhoun is in right, Fletcher, Simmons, Rengifo, and Pujols. On the infield, Kevin Smith is your catcher. Matt Olson waits in the on-deck circle. Another foul ball, same spot.
We'll take you back to Tuesday. Matt Chapman's blast out to center. And I'm going to start the petition to make that Ole Toledo sign pressure sensitive. You hit that thing on a fly, I want lights.
So now it's 3-2. Matt Chapman, 69 extra base hits this year, tied for 4th behind Devers, Bogarts, and Trout.
Considering the wildness of the fastball, just wonder right now if it's going to be a 3-2 slider to Matt Chapman. Seems to be the control pitch for Bard so far.
Marcus runs. Strike 3 called. Throw to second base is in the dirt. It's going to be a stolen base. Chapman is called out. Well, the A's will have a runner in scoring position with 1 out.
Well, Mark does a very good job and had to look back because of the fact that it was 3-2 and ball supposed to be outside, came back on the inside corner.
Well, it's that backup slider that you'd love to bottle. So still a tough time executing right now, but kind of getting away with his just raw stuff.
First pitch to Olson is a strike on the outside corner. Olson at 269. 28 home runs, 69 RBIs.
I think that's at a time in that situation there. The at bat probably dictates what the pitcher's going to do. Sometimes the scouting report will say in certain situations he'll go to a particular pitch, but the fact that Bard could not control his fastball, almost had to think he's going to go soft to do something that he has a little bit more control with.
Matt Olson in this series is 2 for 8. His 2 hits, both doubles. Nowhere close with a 96-mile-an-hour fastball.
Well, the reason you'll see guys go to their off-speed pitches, and Foss, you can attest to this, if a pitcher has the his money pitch, that's what he can almost dial up in his sleep. That's what he feels really confident in executing. So you get back to a pitch that you know you have to mechanically be sound on, and that can at times hone your release point with the rest of your offerings.
And he's missing outside of lefty, same place he is missing inside to the righties. And really just trying to guide the ball instead of throwing it. And I think this is the time that the breaking ball is good, but also a fastball called inside, which forces the pitcher to throw and finish the pitch versus trying to aim it.
Hard hit ball. Nice play, Pujols. Bard was a little late getting there, but they still got him. Heck of a play by Pujols, and Bard just hesitated. And this was a very close play. See if the A's want to take a look at it, and they may.
Well, that's how hard this ball is hit by Matt Olson. Is Bard never thought he really had a shot to get over there.
Yeah, he's safe. Yeah, they're going to take a look at it. They should. According to that, let's just hope that they see that the hand is on the bag there before the foot gets down. That's a big call.
Well, you can see the impact of the bag from Matt Olson's hand.
Hey fans, this official review is brought to you by Ring
He got the back. Bard got the back into the bag, which if he'd gotten closer to the front of the bag or the middle of the bag, he might have been out or would have been out. But because he look where his right foot ends up going to the back side in the air, it goes to the back of the bag.
And again, you can see that bag pop up as Matt Olson hits the bag.
Yeah, that's well, check the hand, check the right foot. He's airborne over the bag. If he hits it right there, he's out, but he did not hit the bag until the back of it.
Yeah, you can that tilting of the bag.
Yeah.
That bag doesn't tilt because Bard has hit it. It tilts because Matt Olson, all 240 plus pounds of him, is rolling into that bag. The impact from the hand.
And I would think from the umpire standpoint, it's a bang-bang play. It's just a matter of what you're going to go with. Just hope it's definitive enough. Your favorite word, Kipe, in New York. Runner third, 2 outs. Runner first and third, 1 out. It's huge. I figured that. That's a bad call. That is a bad call. And with all the angles our guys showed, it was definitive that his hand got on the bag first.
So 2 outs. Simeon is now at third, and it's up to Mark Canha. Wow. So Canha steps up at 272, 23 homers and 49 RBIs. One for 5 in this series with a couple of walks. Canha base hit center field. So a big 2-out hit for the Athletics here in the first inning as Simeon comes in to score, and it's 2-1.
Well, Mark Canha, who had hit a home run against Bard in Anaheim on the 28th, did not wait around. Hit a fastball 1-2. This one, though, he got first pitch back up the middle. And this is why Mark Canha, and back to your point earlier about Laureano, where he's going to play. Mark Canha has deserved to play every day, someplace. And the way he is swinging the bat, and this is an example right there. After really a bad call at first base, he comes through with a big 2-out knock, and that is huge.
So here's Profar. Profar in left field again today. He was out there last night. Made a couple nice plays. We showed you in the open of our show. Missed again, and it's 2-0.
This is the homer from last night. Get it up in that alley. I tell you, you have got to love what you're seeing from Jurickson Profar. Riding a nice little hot streak.
And another ball, 3-0.
And Sandoval, who pitched very well last night as the lefty starting for the Angels, limited in innings and pitches, came out of the game, and because of that home run, he got the loss. Because the Angels didn't score against the Athletics. There's your starter.
Profar with the green light on 3-0, and he had a good swing. Got a pitch to hit.
That's your indication of a guy who's swinging the hot bat. Let him go.
And now it's 3-2. A little Reggie Jackson swing there.
Bad intentions written all over this. You can see maybe that head vacate just a touch early.
Exmo brought to you by Cache Creek Casino Resort. So Canna will take off. 3-2, 2 outs. He runs, and the ball's hit on the ground in the shallow right field. That's Rengifo out there, and he throws out Profar. So the A's get a run. 2-1 Angels after 1. So it's the Angels 2 and the A's 1 after 1 inning here at the Coliseum. Andrelton Simmons will lead things off. Stomping ground, hanging out. It's been a big hit this year with families. A little light today out there, though. You could get a seat on the AstroTurf. Still have plenty of room.
School's back in session.
Yeah, that's exactly right.
That may be one of the big differences. Brett Anderson, big difference for him now, pitching second inning, trying to put zeros up.
Tough hop for Chapman. He stays with it, flips it across, and Simmons is out. So 1 away for Luis Rengifo.
Batting in the 8th position, second baseman, number 4, Luis Rengifo.
So Rengifo steps up. Switch hitter. Angels are thinking maybe they found a second baseman into the future. We'll see with Rengifo.
They still like La Stella, and it's kind of a dilemma. He got injured. 20 home runs for La Stella impressed the Angels, but he's good. This kid's good.
Noisy has it. And that's the second out. Tommy La Stella was an all-star this year, but then got injured right before the all-star game.
And catching, number 44, Kevin Smith.
So the Angels certainly miss La Stella, who was having a very fine season.
They're enjoying a nice little power outburst.
Yeah. He fouled the ball off his leg, right?
He also left the friendly confines of Wrigley Field. But difference is getting a chance to play every day, which Angels were allowing him to do that, and his production put him in the line. Angel Stadium's a nice place to hit. You know, it's just, it seems like it's, from a hitter standpoint, good batter's eye and being able to see and hit.
Marcus flips to first, so a 7-pitch inning for Brett Anderson. Bottom of the second coming up. It'll be Davis, Pinder, and Noisy. 2-1 Angels.
All on NBC Sports California is brought to you by Law Tigers, Northern California's motorcycle lawyers at lawtigers.com.
Bottom of the second inning with the Angels leading the Athletics 2-1. When it's time for change, think Speedy Oil Change and Auto Service, your trusted oil change, tune-up, and smog experts. As promised, Jose Suarez comes in, the left-hander. He's 2-5 with a 6.71 ERA. He's a youngster, only 21 years old, from Venezuela.
Well, it's really normal that you bring a lefty in to face a righty. But that's what it doesn't really matter. Bard goes 1 inning, cannot get the win. The Angels leading 2-1. All he can get really now is a no decision. Suarez is a pitcher that they like. The Angels like him, just like Sandoval last night. Sneaky fastball. Loves to throw his changeup.
Chris Davis, 19 home runs and 59 runs batted in on 3 pitches. He strikes out.
You talk about the good changeup. This is a good fastball here. If he's going to have the success he's looking for, he's got to be able to execute as he does here. This is just a fastball higher than high against a guy that you know you leave it up. He's able to get to it. It could be damage. And I think the command, the control, that's something to look for in the young lefty. Just looking at some of the numbers, kind of a difficult time getting ahead of guys. Low first pitch strike numbers, 55%. Big league average right around 62%. That's one of the first things you think about when a young guy gets to the big leagues and trying to cut his teeth. Is he afraid of the strike zone early? Does he have confidence to be able to not only get ahead but compete in the strike zone later in the count as well?
Pinder chases that high fastball in the count 1-2.
And there you go. It's fastball changeup. It's going to lead the way. And a lot of times you see those low breaking ball numbers, curveball. It's at 20%. Not terribly low, but that's typically trying to get ahead.
He grabs this one off the bat of Pinder. Underhands to first, 2 outs.
Just having the changeup in the back of the mind of a hitter makes the fastball that much better, and it's got decent velocity for him. All he has to do is turn the ball over a little bit, which he is not doing that much anyway. It's more of a four-seam.
And this is the second time that Suarez has came into the game after an opener. First time he did it, he came in and pitched 4 innings, gave up 6 hits and 4 runs. It's really not that easy for a young pitcher to do it. Certainly it's not easy for a veteran to do it either, because
it's a routine orient. Yeah, but that's the tough part. If you're a starter and then you've got a follower, and if you establish yourself and you have a routine, that makes it difficult.
Well, I'll say this, as a young guy getting into the big leagues, I don't believe that you necessarily are afforded the opportunity to feel that way.
Albert Pujols grabs it. So Suarez has a 3-up, 3-down inning. 3rd inning coming up. With Xfinity XFi, you get the ultimate control of your in-home Wi-Fi. Pause the Wi-Fi on any connected devices, see who's on your network, and more. This is beyond Wi-Fi. This is XFi. Big A's in the house. Apostrophe S along with him. In his usual spot. So Brett Anderson to face the top of the order. Fletcher, Trout, and Pujols. Bunted, and it is a beautiful bunt. And when Matt Chapman has to take a bite out of it, that means you have made a perfect bunt, and that's what it was.
Well, you talk about dead in the ball. Look where Chapman's playing. That is deep normally, but he got a good jump. This is how good the bunt was, and the best thing Matt did do was not throw, even though I had Noisy backing up first base. But Chapman tried to get there as quickly as possible, but there's a technique in being able to bunt, as Fletcher just did, and dead in the ball, which means that once it hit, it kind of stops rolling. You don't want to bunt it too hard. That allows the third baseman to get to the ball. Fletcher did it perfect.
Here's Trout. And Trout smokes one to center. That will be home run number 45 for Mike Trout. Oh my goodness gracious. Above the suites and into that second level of seats.
buzz in the crowd.
I was hoping it wouldn't stay fair.
Well, the thing about Brett Anderson, unfortunately, pitches are elevated a little bit too much, and ground ball pitcher got a bunt down for the ground ball, but that was not a ground ball.
So 45 home runs, 104 RBIs now for Mike Trout.
Well, if he's able to extend, which he has done, he did it on Tuesday against Mike Fiers, and he did it there against Brett Anderson.
Pujols lines him, but this one's going to be foul.
See the location of that pitch, and Brett goes down semi-crotch. He knew it was gone.
Watch where it lands. Look above that row of sweets.
There's something yellow right above him.
So Trout now tied with Pete Alonso with a major league lead in home runs with 45. Bellinger's got 44. Yelich has 43.
Fans in the suite right below where the ball hit, maybe thinking, hey, we're going to get a souvenir. Didn't expect to get one here.
Pujols is retired, so that's the first out.
Well, and you can see what I'm talking about when I talk about how important it is to get that leadoff hitter, how important it is to keep Fletcher off the base paths. He does a great job of deadening that ball. But again, you start to open up the field defensively. You start to open up holes for Mike Trout on the field. But a guy who can hit it 450 plus feet, holes on the field doesn't really matter.
Swing and a miss by Goodwin. The thing that I noticed with Trout is he never overswings. You know, he doesn't say, oh, 3-1 pitch, I'm gonna
doesn't have to.
I'm gonna try to jerk it. He swings pretty much the same way every time. Miguel Cabrera like that.
I actually thought one of the best pitches thrown was Mike Fiers after the home run, unintentionally, but up in the end moved his feet a little bit after that. And as you said, he was 1 for 6, 1 for 7, you know, the rest of the series. But, you know, sometimes in the pitches that he has hit, Trout has hit, and you cannot, I mean, you can't pitch him. I mean, just watch it. I mean, this ball is going forever. 25-degree launch angle, 111 plus off the bat, 455. And that young lady said, what are we doing up here running after a baseball? But that is an odd souvenir. But Mike Trout did not miss it. But if a hitter is able to think about middle of the plate away, he's going to be a great hitter. Move his feet a little bit, maybe get thinking about inside. Maybe a different story.
StatCast AI powered by AWS. Chapman with a nice pick on the backhand, and he throws him out. Very nice play by Matt Chapman. Mike Trout with a 2-run homer, his 45th of the year. Angels lead 4-1. All right, here's our upcoming Mondays. Tigers in this weekend, and then the A's head to Texas. 4 against the Astros, 3 against the Rangers. So big 7-game road trip coming up to the state of Texas. The Astros are battling the Yankees for the best record in the American League. Right now the Yankees have the edge by a game and a half. So that is one of those things to watch. There's Ramon Laureano, who's getting very close. Could we see Laser Ramon this weekend?
About tomorrow night.
Maybe.
Yeah, he was running the bases. And you look at him and say, there's nothing wrong with that guy. He was going from first to third, home to third. So I'd say there's a pretty good chance well-rested Ramon Laureano chopping at the bit will get back to the lineup probably sometime tomorrow, whether it's in the suspended game or the.
Frankly, drives one toward Trout, who hustles back. Trout was shaded into right center a little bit. That is out number 1. What a night for Sean Murphy. His first big league game, second major league at bat, he hits a home run. And this, the proud family.
And his dad last night, he was still crying.
Oh, how could you not?
Yeah, that's right. I mean, very proud father. And
those are Oakland A's players that have homered in their major league debut. Joe Keough.
Steinbach was in Cleveland at the old Municipal Stadium. So another catcher, Terry Steinbach, along with Sean Murphy. Joe Keough, the first year the A's were in Oakland.
1-1 to Marcus Semien, who was hit by a pitch, and then he scored in the first inning. Trout's going to come in, but play this one on a hop. So Marcus Semien gets a base hit.
Well, more impressive for me from Sean Murphy was the job he did behind the dish. You can see a little bit of a cross-up. We kind of had a good time with him, told him it's a good job of knocking that down. But from then on, folks, it wasn't about just bodying up and keeping the ball in front of him. It was on another level, softening the ball, redirecting the ball back to home plate. That's a catcher's main objective if he can do that. You keep people on the base paths where they're at. You're not giving up 90 extra feet. And for a pitcher, you have that confidence instilled. And Foss, you and I talk about this a lot. If I know I can bounce my breaker with 2 strikes, runners on base, runners in scoring position with confidence, that does a lot for me. That does a lot for both of us as a battery.
Chapman, mighty swing at an off-speed pitch, and he missed it. Actually, maybe fouled it right at home plate.
And thanks to Phil Paul and Jeremy Downey, he can stay down in the dugout and not have to go down and warm up pitchers. After catching last night, probably worn out though, and the 2 guys who take over the chores in the bullpen did get the baseball. That was hit to right center. Eric Farrell said he did not go out there.
Marcus thought about going. Smith could not find it for a split second.
Well, unfortunately for Marcus, the block and the block of the catcher going after the ball, Marcus really couldn't see what happened to it. See, that time Smith did not turn his glove properly immediately. Otherwise, I mean, that should have been a pass ball. But Marcus trying to find the baseball, couldn't. By that time, down 3 runs, you do not want to take a chance.
Full shift on for Chapman. See on the infield to pull, in the outfield, he hit it the other way. Upton, or excuse me, Goodwin in left field is well off the line.
This is only given 1 sign. There's not a runner at second base. So you would assume that it's only 1 sign given by Kevin Smith.
And now it's 3-1.
And Kipe, you mentioned about Goodwin off the line. That's the pitch. You have to wonder, why are they calling and throwing a breaking pitch inside when the left fielder is so far off the line? Because if he makes a mistake, he's going to hook it down the line, and Semien could possibly score from first.
And that's not close. So a single and a walk for the A's here in the bottom of the 3rd.
Change up on 3-1.
Here comes Matt Olson.
A's will be in Houston Monday through next Thursday. We'll see the left fielder off the line because of the short porch, the Crawford boxes. But we're seeing more and more of it with left fielders well off the line. Saw it with the Yankees, and a ground ball hit by the 3rd baseman. I think it's Marcus Semien, ended up scoring Herman for first base on a ball that ended up down the corner.
First pitch to Matt Olson. That misses low. Olson, part of that controversial play in the 1st inning. He was called out. A's wanted to take a look at it, but the call stood.
You're going back to that play, and it's a left-handed hitter, and that's why you think, why is the catcher telling the pitcher, reminding him to get over to first base? If Bard had broke it immediately, it wouldn't have been a close play. But he hesitated. The ball hit to the right side of the infield. With a left-hander, you automatically think as a pitcher, I got to cover whether it's caught or not. And fortunately for the Angels, they got the call.
Strike to Olson. Olson ended up the head first slide into first base. Just got a piece of that one. Matt Olson leads all American League first basemen in home runs with his 28. Let's not forget he missed 34 games at the very early part of this season. Rolls over on that one to Rengifo to Simmons, and that is a double play. 4-6-3 quickly turned by Andrelton Simmons at second base. So the A's do not score. So the Angels lead the A's 4-1, top of the fourth inning. A beautiful day here at the ballpark. Tough to beat September weather in the Bay Area.
That's right. Especially for day game.
Yep, still nice and warm, but just starts to cool off a little bit at night. Not much.
It's what I like to call parasol weather.
Ah, fair.
Well, I wanted to show you guys something. We've talked a lot about great athletes, and we have a few on display for us day in, day out. Look at the turn here from Andrelton Simmons. It's a combination of securing and redirecting the baseball all at the same time.
That's Marcus Semien with the shift on. He takes care.
And if you have the opportunity, pull up video of Omar Vizquel, but watch how quickly this exchange occurs. He never really grabs the ball with his bare hand per se. It's more of a direction of the baseball from the glove into the hand, and then fires on over to first.
And you know what? You were watching the hands. I was watching the feet of Simmons. And Ray, we've talked about this a lot. Dallas, we've talked about this. As a middle infielder, you have to be able to throw the ball to first base on the pivot without stepping straight toward first base.
Right.
Well, and Simmons just, I mean, it was an upper body throw, but it's not a long throw. But watch how he throws.
But look where his foot is. His right foot's on the bag left. And see that the runner has to go directly into the bag. Yep. And that's the change right there in the rule, that a middle infielder, smart enough as Simmons is, he knows he can do exactly like you said and not worry about anybody taking him out.
Get that left leg out of there.
Absolutely.
Well, and we also see kids. You'll see kids as they're warming up to play catch on the line. They won't use a stride. Sometimes early on they will just kind of receive the ball and rotate at the top of the torso and play catch, just kind of rotate. And that's a beautiful example of Simmons having body control and having the strength to be able to execute that movement, because he's stationary, receives the feed, and the cannon follows.
0-1 to Rengifo, with Simmons aboard after the base hit. And Simmons was dancing around out there. Brett Anderson kind of held and then threw to first.
Well, Simmons looks like he's ready to go on first move. If Anderson has any thought of going to the plate, that running lead that Simmons has, he might just keep going.
Tapped foul. Rengifo grounded out in the second inning.
Well, Brett Anderson is trying to read Andrelton Simmons. Andrelton Simmons knows that, which is why you're seeing him jab over at first in an effort to draw the throws that he has from Brett Anderson. You see Brett Anderson going quick to the slide step.
And he chased that with Rengifo, and that's the 3rd strikeout for Brett Anderson. All right, well, today at 4:30, the 100th season of the NFL kicks off on NBC with the league's most storied rivalry, the Packers and the Bears. Then the defending Super Bowl champion Patriots host the Steelers on the premiere of Sunday Night Football, only on NBC. Nice Aaron Rodgers jersey. Dallas, maybe I'll get you one of those.
Yeah.
Are they at in Chicago?
They're in Chicago tonight.
So Soldiers Field, that's where they still play? Down the Michigan Avenue?
Indeed. So Brett Anderson gives up the 1-out hit and nothing else. We're headed to the bottom of the 4th. Canna, Profar, and Davis to hit for the A's. They're down.
Fans, watch every out-of-market regular season game live or on demand with MLB.tv. Your subscription includes MLB At-Bat Premium, allowing you to stream live baseball on your favorite supported devices. Blackout and other restrictions apply. Visit MLB.tv for details.
Stopper's popular today. Where is he? Oh, he's right next to the foul pole down the right field line.
Stopper's making a lot of appearances around the Bay Area. Photo ops and get a chance to take a picture with Stopper. Don't talk to him, he won't talk back. So that's
no,
a great
it's
way.
not going to be a great conversation.
It's a great way to go out and take pictures and don't have to say anything.
Mark Canna lined a single to center in the 1st. It was a 2-out RBI hit. Those are a thing of beauty. Pujols is going to watch this one sail over his head and drop foul. A little jam shot by Canna.
That would have been a thing of beauty if that had landed fair.
So 1-2 the count to Canna. There again a little bit. Pujols waiting, and now coming over there's Rengifo, and he takes it from the future Hall of Famer, and that's out number 1. And let's check in with Kara.
Fans, you have a novel opportunity tomorrow when you come out to the Coliseum. You can actually catch your beloved Oakland A's as the visiting team. That's right, the A's are going to be playing a continuation game from a game that was postponed in the spring when they're in Detroit. So the A's have to be the road team while Detroit is the home team. The game starts at 5:15, bottom of the 7th inning, and the in-stadium entertainment crew is going to treat the Coliseum as if it really were Comerica Park in Detroit. So you're going to see like the Detroit Tigers open. You're going to see some beauty shots of Detroit. It's going to be weird. It's going to be unusual, but it is a really cool opportunity to catch some bonus baseball tomorrow. And then 30 minutes after that first quarter game ends, the real regularly scheduled game will begin. So come on out for all of it. And if you need to kill some time in between games, the treehouse will be open. DJ Tion will be spinning. You can always go out to Championship Plaza for the food trucks. So it's going to be a really fun evening and then night, of course, of A's baseball, whether they're home or away, in their home whites or their road grays. It'll be really fun to watch and something you certainly don't get to see every day here at the Coliseum. Guys, I'm looking forward to it. How about you?
All right, I'm looking forward to 2 W's. I mean, that's a big deal.
Yes, it is.
You get 2 wins, and you're sitting in a pretty good spot with one of them with a 2-run lead in the 7th inning.
Well, and right now, a good win today would help them because Cleveland's lost.
Cleveland is lost.
Yeah, so that's that game is over. 3 hours ahead, back in downtown Cleveland.
Profile gets the walk. You know, so that is the updated wild card with the Indians dropping back a half a game with their loss today. We'll tell you what happened in that game. Rays will play tonight. The Rays are at home, and they're going to host the Toronto Blue Jays, first of a 4-game series in St. Petersburg. For the Rays, after that Jays 4-game series next week, the Rays will go on a 8-game road trip. And Pujols,
He did that intentionally.
I think he did do it intentionally.
Yes, he did.
He'll flip to first, or flip to second, excuse me, to get the out.
That's exactly what he did.
So you may be thinking, well, why? Well, figuring Profar's a faster runner than Chris Davis, so you could get him off the bases, and you may get a double play.
Chris Davis wasn't running.
Yeah.
And that's exactly right, because he knows a pop up on the infield, but Pujols there, and he went up and let it come down. It's a dangerous play because it's dirt. If it's grass, you know it's going to stay right there, but he was able to handle it. He got under it, let the ball drop down, and fortunately Chris Davis did get back to first base, or get down to first base. Usually on a bunt play, that's the one that you'll catch the hitter upset, can head it back to the dugout.
See, your best chance here, Ray, is if Chris Davis maybe just isn't running, you step on first and throw to second.
Well, and you know, Profar couldn't do anything. If it's 2 outs, they're not going to do it, obviously, but you know, with 1 out, Profar has to stay close to the bag because it is a pop-up. It's not an infield fly rule, and it's a smart play by the veteran first baseman Albert Pujols.
Nice play by this fan. He went down, took one for the team, but he made the catch.
Oh.
Gosh.
No regard for his body or human life. He secures the catch and a memory for his family.
Wow.
$25.99. They got your back over there on the concourse.
There has to be like a bruised hip or something. Elbow. But he caught it. Heck of a play. Simmons will flip to second, and a hard hit ball, but nothing to show for it for Pinder, and the A's are retired in the bottom of the 4th. Angels with a 4-1 lead over the A's, and they will send the top of the order up against Brett Anderson, Fletcher, Trout, and Pujols. Fletcher just showed bunt again.
Yeah.
He did it in the 3rd inning and laid down a perfect bunt.
And if he bunts it like he did in the 3rd inning, it's probably going to be a base hit. Chapman playing a little bit closer in towards.
And that's a base hit. Boy, he has been a tough out for the Athletics all year long.
Well, the pitch away, and we talked about last night the breaking balls that he was hitting to right field. But this pitch away from him, he just stays inside, and because he does wait so long, he's able to hit balls to the opposite field instead of rolling over. And in fact, as you said, what Trout doesn't do is overswing. Well, Fletcher doesn't either, just a different type of swing, different type of power.
So here is Trout, excuse me, Dallas.
Let's go back to that long ball. This is middle. And heads up in Danville.
It's a fair ball. Chapman, he's going to throw to second, and they get the out there. Throw back to first, not in time. So the A's get Fletcher off the bases. Trout is on a fielder's choice.
Well, the A's fans cheering because they got him out, or at least did not give up a home run. Ball was not going to be easily turned for a double play. Noisy with a very strong arm attempted it, but Trout is just too fast out of the batter's box. And Trout could very easily be a 40-40, maybe 50-50, but he doesn't run as much. Did get his 200th stolen base, but it seemed like when he did run, it injured his hand in St. Pete the one time. Had to miss some time.
Trout's his rookie season in 2012. He played in 139 games and he stole 49 bases. The next year, 33. Also stole 30 in 2016. He can steal them if he needs to or really wants to. And if it's a tight situation, he can go get a stolen base.
And you know, we have seen these situations, not necessarily this, first and third, where he's been at first, and with Pujols a candidate for a double play, he will steal second to keep that double play from occurring. With the runner at first where he is, that's not an issue. But he is a smart player, and I would say that he has a green light whenever he wants to go. But Pop has been told don't take a chance. He is wearing that oven mitt, which gives him an extra few inches to get to the bag if necessary, but it's also to protect his hand.
Trout is 11 for 13 in steal attempts this year. Brett Anderson needs a double play ball, and he's been very good. Ground ball percentage leaders this year. Brett Anderson is first in the American League.
14 ground outs in his last start. He's got 9, counting the one in this inning already, pitching in the 5th inning.
And there Trout goes. It's a swing and a miss. The throw to second base is not in time. So Pujols strikes out. Hold on. No, I think they're calling interference on Pujols.
Yeah, we got interference on the backswing for Albert Pujols. He catches Fegley on the come around.
So Trout's going to have to go back to first.
Fegley, a very quick release, and you know, Bob Melvin said that's a double play if it's interference on Pujols. If it's unintentional, he crossed the plate, and really, I've talked to an umpire. They said, and you saw how quickly Fegley released the ball. If he had followed through, he would have hit him. He did not follow through, and as a result, his throw was not as strong. But I've been told by an umpire, you do not have to make contact. I thought you did. But if you watch as Pujols swings and crosses the plate, and see Fegley kind of recoil.
Well, you can see the contact, and you can also see Albert Pujols will point. Watch with his right hand.
Yeah, he got him in the left elbow.
Albert Pujols will end up pointing back to acknowledge the contact himself.
Well, better contact like that than interference, because it does send Trout back to first with the contact of the bat on the body. Ron Hassey, to me, was the best of making contact with the hitter. If he even thought about crossing the plate, he'd make sure he fell into it. Jason Kendall did as well. Now, Pujols smart. He showed it on the ball that he let drop. And he showed it also by pointing back that he made contact with Fegley.
1-1 the count to Brian Goodwin. So Trout back to first base.
Trout went on first move when he stole the base, and he had it easily, even if Fegley had not been hit.
Who knows? He may go again.
Yeah.
That's a base hit to right field. Trout's going to go to second and stop there. Pinder gets it back in. So Goodwin with a hit. 2 on 2 out, and the hitter's going to be Upton.
Well, the good news, Trout wasn't a second.
So 8 hits now off Brett Anderson in 4 2/3 innings.
Well, his pitch is up still. I mean, it's hard to get outs when you're pitching up in the zone like that. And Mike Trout already in scoring position, and with the base hit, he could score from second very easily, so he did not attempt to go to third.
So with the situation for Brett Anderson, a lot of base runners today. Booker starts to throw. Got to get Upton. Upton with a 2-out 2-run double in the first inning. He hit one off the top of the wall in right center field. Shallow center. Canis coming in. He'll play it on a hop. Trout's going to come in, and Trout will score. Goodwin to third. And Upton comes through again, and now it's 5-1.
Well, the sinker to the lefty Goodwin was up. That's what allowed him to get to that pitch. And this here just looks like a curveball kind of hanging up top. Doesn't barrel it up, but is able to just kind of fight it off and get it out and dunk it in front of Mark Canha. You can hear the frustration.
So 3 RBIs for Upton today, and that'll bring up Cole Calhoun. Calhoun, a strikeout and a ground out. Calhoun did not play last night. Upton runs. Throw to second base, and they're going to get it. So that's how the inning ends. A run on 3 hits for the Angels. Bottom of the 5th coming up. The Angels lead the A's 5-1. Brett Anderson. See if he is done for the afternoon. A.J. Puck is starting to loosen up out in the bullpen. And for the Angels, Jose Suarez came in the 2nd inning. So he's gone 3 innings, has not allowed a run. Facing Noisy, first pitch in for a strike. And we may see the big fella, A.J. Puck. Noisy fouled out in his first at bat. So he is now 2 for 14 so far this year. So that game in Cleveland, the White Sox beat the Indians 7-1, and the story was Ronaldo Lopez, a complete game 1-hitter, and he struck out 11. Noisy toward Trout. Trout getting back, and he turns around and he makes the catch. That gets us to our T-Mobile connections to the game, news and notes. How about Michael Lorenzen? Last night, he became the first Major League player since Babe Ruth in 1921 to hit a home run, appear in the outfield, and be the winning pitcher. It's a good list. Dodgers broke the National League record for most home runs hit in a season, 250. And Rick Renteria, shoulder surgery tomorrow. He's going to miss the weekend series against these Angels. So the Dodgers break the Houston Astros record of 249 when the Astros were in the National League. Speaking of the Astros, sounds like George Springer, a mild concussion. They only think he's going to miss a couple of days. Remember, he banged his head against the wall in Milwaukee, making a nice play in the outfield. Aaron Sanchez is going to have shoulder surgery, so he's done for the year for Houston.
Correa still bothered by a bad back. They're still good. They've got a very, very deep club.
Simmons scoops this one up. So 2 outs. But getting back to Ronaldo Lopez, we've seen him a couple times, and he's been really good against the A's. He was really good today against the Cleveland Indians. So the Indians at home against the White Sox split the 4-game series. And they are now headed to Minnesota for a big weekend series against the Twins. So it's not going to get any easier for the Indians. The Rays will be at home I mentioned that road trip the A's will be or the Rays will be on next week. They'll be in Texas, Anaheim, and the Dodgers. More action for Trout. He's not going to get this one. It one hops, it goes up over the wall, and it's a 2-out double for Marcus Semien. A hitting machine.
And that's for somebody playing as deep as Trout does and still couldn't get to it. And Marcus literally hit, and then a couple of hits to follow. See, there's a case too right there where a hitter's able to extend. Marcus got hit on the glove hand on the left side, and this time able to extend as he did in his last at bat. Hits the ball sharply to left center.
Marcus Semien has 156 hits in 140 games. The 156 hits by far leads the Athletics. I think the next closest A's player in that hits category is Matt Chapman, and he's got 129.
132 run shot to right center right now. Make it a nice round figure, but actually it was Semien and Chapman last inning. Actually last at bat in the 3rd inning. A base hit, a walk, but then the double play turned by the Angels. If they do something now, it's going to have to be with 2 outs. Come on, James.
Matt Chapman today, a strikeout and a walk. In the dirt. We're going to get action out in that bullpen. Noe Ramirez. He's taken over the Cam Bedrosian role. Pitch every game when the Angels and the A's play. Chapman hits it hard, but it's foul. Nice play. Sanitary underneath, stirrup over the top. Gotta like him for that.
Absolutely.
It's a great look.
It is a great look.
Very, very old school.
Oh yeah, see, he's dressing up the sock.
Yeah, but that's the Cincinnati Reds at ankle chokers. Can't have a high stirrup. Used to stretch them on the hangers or the hooks on your lockers. Still a good look.
Oh yeah, that was part of the deal in junior college. American River Junior College head coach Kevin Higgins. Mandatory before the game. You will be shining those cleats. They will be clean. You will have sanitary showing because you will be wearing stirrups, and we will play this game the right way, gentlemen.
I like it.
No high stirrups, just the low. Could you stretch them out?
You could stretch them if you wanted, but there had to be white showing.
As it should be. So Chapman strikes out. The A's get the double by Semien and nothing else. 5-1 Angels lead.
We pay you. And by Ram Trucks. Hurry in now for great deals during the Ram Summer Clearance event.
Beautiful look at Mount Diablo off in the distance. Here at the Coliseum in Oakland, the Angels leading the A's 5-1. The A's trying to sweep the Angels. But right now, Angels leading by 4. When it's time for a change, think Speedy Oil Change and Auto Service, your trusted oil change, tune-up, and smog expert. So A.J. Puck comes in for his 4th appearance. He'll face Calhoun, Simmons, and Rengifo. A.J. Puck.
This could be a good appearance for the tall left-hander. Club unfortunately down by 4, but gives him an opportunity to pitch and maybe give some innings.
for Brett Anderson. 9 hits, 5 runs, no walks, 4 strikeouts in 5 innings. So he will not set a career high in wins today. He's looking for his 12th win of the year. Quickly 0-2, so a 99-mile-an-hour fastball, then that one at 92.
Well, you watch, you can see the rotation. It's a 92-mile-an-hour slider, folks.
I would think as a left-handed hitter, you're bailing with the long wingspan of Puck, the way he throws, and almost coming from second base.
Calhoun says, I'm heading back to the dugout. And he strikes out for the 2nd time.
Well, it's really a tough job and maybe a confidence boost for A.J. Puck, but that's the really 3 pitches and 3 strikes, and it looked like Calhoun wanted nothing to do with any of them. Your heart might be in it, but the rest of your body says no way, as it vacates the batter's box.
Simmons takes 98 on the inside corner for a strike.
Well, it's 98 miles an hour out of the hand, and it's got to feel like A.J. Puck is about 2 inches from picking your nose if you're a hitter when he lets that thing go.
No, it's not going to be a fun at bat for anybody.
Probably with his height and his stride, he doesn't have to worry about stepping in anybody else's landing spot. Creates his own. Just think if they hadn't lowered the mound, you have a guy like this tall. It's all because of Bob Gibson.
And they wanted to help you hitters out a little bit
after
that 68 season. He did have a 1.12 ERA, though.
Yes, he did.
Kind of ridiculous.
A slider that nobody could hit. That's the Tigers.
Well, he's a big fella. And again, slight cross body action.
So that's like 54 feet. Stride 6 feet. Give him that.
Chapman, long throw across, and a good one, 2 outs.
Well, memories are made at the ballpark this September. Kids 12 and under can experience the rush of a postseason push. Purchase 1 regularly priced ticket and get 2 kids tickets for free. Don't miss out on the opportunity to create long-lasting memories with the whole family this September. To purchase your tickets, visit athletics.com/family. And we encourage you to do so because it's the quarter header against the Tigers tomorrow, the weekend series, and then the A's on the road, the A's back, and that's it for the regular season in September.
Yeah, you got to get on out.
Good opportunity for families with kids and families in general to come out and watch the A's. Special time of the year.
You got the Tigers, and then the last homestand of the year to be 3 against the Royals and 3 against the Rangers. Two to Renifo, and maybe we'll be lucky enough to have some playoff baseball here at the Coliseum this fall. Had to go to New York last year. That was not going to be an easy task. And he got a nasty slider at 90 miles an hour. So that's a nice inning for A.J. Puck. Couple of strikeouts. Bottom of the 6th coming up here at the Coliseum. The A's trailing 5-1. Does enter it online. Then you'll be eligible to win cash for you and a charity you select. Oakland A's Prize Patrol. Support your community by watching A's baseball on NBC Sports, California. Gave away $5,000 last night at the Treehouse. The gentleman who won was hanging out at the ballpark.
First thing he said, I'm going to Mesa, going to spring training. It'll be fun for him.
1-1 the count to Olson. Jose Suarez, the A's have not figured him out just yet.
One thing about a team that has success and is successful, as the A's have been, especially lately, you get the feeling that to that 27th out, you have a chance to come back and win. And Bob Melvin hoping that with 12 outs remaining, they could put together something and come back against the Angels.
Matt Olson today is 0 for 2.
We've seen Suarez do a fine job of just keeping guys off balance, and it seems like he's continuing to stay one pitch ahead of the hitter. Seen the good changeup to righties. Seen him spin that breaking ball as well.
And that one is drilled toward right. And that will be extra bases. It bounces off the wall. Calhoun's got a good arm, but he did not get off a good throw. When he threw it, he slipped a little bit, and Olson has a double.
Now fans come to the ballpark this Sunday to celebrate Latin culture at the A's first Latinx Heritage Night. It's presented by Chevrolet. All early arriving fans for the 107 game against the Detroit Tigers will receive a Bert Campy Campaneris bobblehead. You purchase your tickets today by visiting athletics.com/Latinx, Latinx.
So leadoff man aboard. And here's Mark Canha. He's had a 2-out double last inning. He had a leadoff double this inning. And Canha takes the ball.
Matt Olson, one of the best left-handed hitters against left-handers, especially getting a hanging breaking ball, and good at bat to take the pitch, but then get one that he could handle, and smoked it.
Strike called. Canha doesn't like it. So pitcher and catcher thought the first pitch should have been a strike. It was called a ball. Second pitch, Canha didn't like it.
Well, and for good reason. You know, I talk about hitters trying to be able to figure out what sort of zone they're working with. They want to know how far in, how far out they have to cover. And that's what's always really difficult, is anytime you get a pitch thrown in the strike zone called a ball, and then that makeup call that seems like is inevitably on its way can give you a false sense of 17 inches, meaning that 17-inch plate can give you a false sense of exactly where your zone is.
Canha just got a piece of it. He's ready.
Who's that? What number is that for? Who's that? 80?
Well, yeah, you could go back in time.
Cap looks like his old time. Oh, that's just old Cap. You know, quality of that right here would be a ground ball to the right side. That would be a base hit with the shift on for Mark Canha. 3 to the right, left side of the infield. A leadoff double. Get him in, make it a closer game.
Almost hit Canha.
I think with the breaking pitches that he is throwing and everything inside of Canha, they're shifting 3 to the left side, figuring he is going to pull the ball. Watch the top head of the bat. No, he doesn't even go in. Well, it's almost at his hands.
2 pitches, foul back, and a high fastball.
He said, I didn't think any one of you were going to move, so I had to get up and protect the group.
And he did. Toward right, Calhoun on the move. Calhoun with a diving catch. And it's going to be, as Olson was able to tag up. It looked like he left early.
Yeah, it did. Sure did.
So what a play by Cole Calhoun.
Well, and from where I'm sitting, guys, not only am I field level, but I've got a great shot out to right field here. And I'm able to see the space created when Cole Calhoun leaves his feet right there and becomes parallel with Mother Earth. How about this? Incredible effort by the Red Rocket out there and right. Cole Calhoun, one of the grittiest ball players going today, knows one speed, and that's sellout. I love it.
So Olson did tag up and go to third. Gold Glove winner back in 2015.
Ground ball. He's going to run, so if nothing else, Canna did his job to at least get the runner to third base after a spectacular play by Calhoun. A run the A's need to get.
Well, just a productive out right here.
Yeah.
Productive out, continue to chip away.
Trout coming in. He's got it. Olson is going to go and stop and get back. 2 outs. Always helps the outfielder if he's coming in to make the play, and he was. So he had his momentum moving forward.
It also helps that the A's are down by 4 and you don't want to take a chance. And Olson did come down the line once he saw the throw, and even though Smith had to back up, throw probably is going to be there in enough time for Smith to catch the way he did and go back to plate, unless he would try to short hop it, which is a possibility.
So it's up to Chris Davis. Chris Davis a strikeout, and he reached on a fielder's choice.
Hands seem higher today. Went upstairs last night as we showed, but today he's even higher, it seems. But gets the job done. Doesn't matter where the hands are, just get them going.
Good time for Chris Davis' first hit in this series. And that one called the ball. So same pitch. This time it's called a strike, and the count is 2-1. "70 pitches for Jose Suarez. And that's a shot into the glove of Simmons. And the A's cannot get that big hit to get Olson home. 7th inning coming up. By the treehouse, an authentic fan picnic blanket, and you can hang out with the pre and post game set. So top of the 7th, Angels leading 5-1 over the Athletics. A couple hits today for Marcus Semien, but the A's looking for a couple big hits to get him back in the game. AJ Puck's been a good story. He goes into his 2nd inning of work. He had a couple of strikeouts in the 6th. So he'll face Smith, and then the top of the order, Fletcher and Trout. That one hit foul down the 3rd baseline. The Tigers who are on their way to the Coliseum, won today in Kansas City 6-4. So again, 5:15 is the first pitch scheduled to finish up the suspended game. And if you got a ticket for tomorrow night's game, come on out at 5:15. You could see extra baseball. Coco usually makes that play. Toward left, Profar at the wall, and it is gone. Kevin Smith launches one to left, and the Angels lead 6-1.
Well, you can kind of sense the disgust and frankly the dismissal of the result here from A.J. Puck. Slider down and in, got away with the one pitch before. Smitty just kind of dropping the head. And a lot of times you feel like if you're able to execute down and in, the best thing that a hitter can do is hit it hard but pull it foul. Just a noisy strike. And that's what I'm talking about right there. You're thinking to yourself, there's no way that ball just went out.
So, a couple of home runs today for the Angels. They've hit 5 in this series. And more work to do now for the Athletics, trailing 6-1. Fletcher's 2 for 3 today. Six for 12 in the series for David Fletcher.
Well, David Fletcher is a guy who, as we continue to embark on this new wave of approach at home plate, he's a guy who knows who he is, knows what type of approach suits him, benefits him. Fletcher does not strike me as a guy who is spending hours on hours in the lab trying to figure out how he can become a 35 home run guy.
Matt Chapman in front of Marcus Semien, and that's the first out.
Time now for the Ram and drive of the game, and unfortunately in this series he has not hit a cheap home run, and this one was not cheap against Brett Anderson, and way up over the suites and checked in left center field above there. 455 feet away. Of course, the one he had Tuesday night bounced in or close to the treehouse. Infield single his first at bat. Did get him out in his third at bat. This should be a nice challenge here.
A little bit low to Trout.
Well, this is where you're still battling as a youngster, as A.J. Puck, trying to separate the guy who was on the poster hanging in your bedroom and the fact that you're now competing against him for outs. Mike Trout, Albert Pujols behind him.
Trout with his 3-run score today. Now has scored 110 runs. That's third most in the American League, behind Betts and Devers from the Red Sox. And 3-0 pitches in, 3-1. Trout takes the walk, and he's on base again.
Even by somebody throws as hard as A.J. Puck does, that's pretty impressive at bat by Mike Trout. He almost just waited and waited, and that's why his batting eye is so good, that he's able to wait as long as he does but still be as strong as he is, that when he does make contact, it travels.
So Albert Pujols steps up. Single, ground out, and a strikeout for Pujols. Swings through that one. Pujols has 654 career home runs. 2,063 RBIs. So he's third most on the all-time RBI list. Sixth on the all-time home run list.
What, 2 more years on his contract?
Let's see. Yes, 2 more years. Chapman's got it. Fires to second for 1. And Noisy with the turn, and that's a double play. Home run for Kevin Smith, 7th inning stretch time. The Angels leading the A's 6-1. For the 7th inning, Mike Trout in the home run today. He has scored 3 runs. And maybe the biggest story is Jose Suarez, who is back out there. He's thrown 5 innings. And that one is lined to left, and it's caught by Goodwin. So Chad Pinder can't hit that ball any harder.
Just kind of the way that things are going today for the Athletics, and sometimes those things happen. Hit the ball hard right at somebody. You make a diving catch, as Calhoun did on Canna's ball, and then the ball hit to Trout in center field and prevent the A's from scoring a run. So Suarez probably the biggest difference in the game for the Angels and for the Athletics.
And Suarez allowed just 3 hits. He struck out 2, and he has walked 2. Luke Bard started, and he went 1 inning, gave up a run.
Nice no decision for Luke Bard today.
Very hard to get a win when you're the opener.
That's right.
But in Suarez's case, when he came into the game, the Angels were leading 2-1. Helps you a little bit. That's a base hit. Noisy lines one to center. So his 3rd big league hit.
Got a pretty good piece of hitting here for Noisy, working down through the ball.
Now batting the catcher, number 19.
Some good backspin there. I'm sure he'd love to string a few of these together here early on in the big league career of Mr. Noisy.
So 5 hits now for the A's. Looks like we're going to get a visit. Doug White is the pitching coach for the Angels. Ty Buttrey is warming up, big right-hander out in the bullpen, so they're probably just giving him a little bit of time.
Shouldn't be any more than 30 seconds time. Go ahead, James, start walking out there.
.76 pitches for Jose Suarez as he faces Fegley. Fegley, a fly ball to center field and a ground out to short. Misses outside to Fegley.
Well, I think with the hard hit ball coming off the bat of Sheldon Noisy, Suarez might be trying to stay away from that hard contact, maybe a little bit of a backwards approach.
Left field and deep, down the line, and that baby's gone.
Well, that is huge. Well, the fastball, and we have seen Josh Phegley do exactly this. He gets it and he doesn't miss it. I mean, he crushed it. Changed his batting stance to start the season, and he has done that pretty regularly when he's gotten a chance to play. Last night it was young Sean Murphy going opposite field. Phegley gets a chance to catch today, and he goes deep to left field at no doubter. Just stay fair, and it did. And the A's pulled it within 3.
And that'll be it for Suarez. When it's time for change, think Speedy Oil Change and Auto Service, your trusted oil change. Tune-up and small for the Angels this year.
5 appearances against the Athletics. In fact, as noted in this last appearance on June the 5th, he had a blown save. The game, the A's scored 9 runs. Unfortunately, the Angels scored 10.
And that's past Pujols in the right field. Marcus with an aggressive turn. So 3rd hit in the inning. Marcus is 3 for 3 today.
Keeping it simple. You wonder why Marcus Semien is having the season he's having. You wonder why you feel like you're watching him evolve before your very eyes, because you are. Right here, you get a big homer from Phegley. What do you want to do? Let's keep that line moving. We got some big boppers coming up behind him. What's his job? Set that table. Continue to keep that line moving. Good hard heater, down and away. Hit it where it's pitched. Pass that baton.
There's the numbers for Suarez. Here's Chapman. Buttrey throws a strike. Season numbers for Ty Buttrey are pretty good. 6-6, 3.55 ERA, his 63rd appearance. So indeed a workhorse.
Yeah, he likes his fastball. He's got a good one, mid to upper 90s. And that's maybe why Marcus Semien did what he did, just sticking the bat out and hitting it past Pujols at first.
Well, I know a lot of folks, you know, they get tired of hearing the cliches from the players. But I promise you, when you ask Marcus Semien, what was your approach? He's going to tell you, I just wasn't trying to do too much. And that's exactly what that means. Is sure, you'd love to see a guy come up and do some damage, loud noise, maybe a homer, but that's not in the cards for the game situation.
Two pitches, a fastball outside to even the count to Chapman, who has struck out twice and walked. And now it's a full count. WAR leaders among position players in all of baseball. Trout, Bellinger on top, no surprise there. Chapman is 6th on that list. Wins above replacement. Marcus Semien is 8th.
Well, you notice the only club on that list with 2 players, the Oakland A's. Both individuals on the left side of the infield.
Did Marcus Semien get hit early in the game?
Yes, he did.
Got smoked.
First inning.
You wouldn't think the way he has finished.
And that pitch misses. And now the A's will get the tying run to the plate, and it's Matt Olson.
Okay, you've said it many times this year, and you've been spot on, that the home run is the way the A's get back in the game. That's a breaking ball, 3-2, and Matt Chapman a good take. But that's exactly what Phegley has done to make it a 3-run game. And with the number of home runs hit, especially the top part of the batting order, You got it coming up again.
And this right here is not a dude you want to leave one hanging to. And this is not a guy that you can just kind of ease in a heater middle and think you're not going to be confronted.
First pitch is low.
Now Marcus Semien, this is what happened his first at bat, and he got it good. I think a lot of players may have said, I'm out of here. Got it right in the love handle, left hip, and he pointed, and it was a 1-2 fastball in. He felt it, obviously felt it badly. And then since then, single, double, single. So the Iron Man for the Athletics playing shortstop.
Matt Olson today. A couple of ground outs and a double.
And Dallas, you're talking about the old cliches about just doing what Marcus Semien did when he's also a gamer. So you got a couple of cliches for him. So now a lefty in the bullpen of the Angels getting loose.
Kept it away with 97, and Olson missed it. 2-2.
Shift to the right side. Good net. Olson hit one to the left side.
He missed again. Breaking ball, and now it's 3-2. Cano waits in the on-deck circle.
He threw Chapman a 3-2 curveball, and let's say he's going to throw a fastball to Olson. Let's see what he does. No.
And he missed off speed, so he threw off speed on 2-2 and on 3-2. And the bases are loaded with one out.
The kid's got a 98-mile-an-hour fastball. That's unbelievable. Well, Matt Olson, they talk about his power, but he has a very, very good eye, as we have seen numerous times. And this is not, I don't think, a pitching change. I think this is, what the heck are you doing? Change. I mean, this is a former catcher in Bad Osmus, and you know, granted, pitches aren't called from the dugout. They're usually just the throwovers and pitch outs, but sometimes you have to say, what are you doing? And especially with a good fastball. He blew a fastball by Olson for the second strike.
So after Pinder lined out, it's been single, homer, single, walk, walk. Mark Cannon knocked in a run in the first. He's 1 for 3.
You slice the ball a little bit more down the right field line, so Calhoun can't get to it.
Another breaking ball. This one in for strike.
Well, that's probably a lot about, or a lot that conversation had to do with. There's, you've got to dial that breaking ball in here. You don't want to get hurt. Like I mentioned, trying to lay in a first pitch fastball here with the opportunity for the Oakland A's to take the lead on one swing of the bat.
Another breaking ball. This one outside. 1-1 the count. Field line, but it's going to be well fouled.
I think that was the one pitch he was looking for. He geared up a little bit extra and started his swing. Now the protect mode begins with the 2 strikes.
Fastball away, 98 miles an hour.
That's an easy 98 too. And I think that's what's surprising, because if you're going to get beat with your best pitch, and the fastball seems to be the one, but the Chapman and Olson, he went soft.
2-2 pitch. Hanger. Kind of fouls it. With a 2-run homer this inning. In the dirt, and it's a full count.
Another breaking ball. Would he do it again? You said before, 2-2. He threw it 3-2.
Simeon Chapman Olsen out of the runners, and he walked in a run. Went with a fastball, 3 consecutive walks, and now it's 6-4. So Canna gets his second RBI in the game, and we're going to have another pitching change, and it is now 6-4. 7th, and they have made this a ball game and not done yet. So see if they can finish off the comeback. Bases are still loaded, only 1 out. And Profar is going to hit. He's going to face Miguel Del Pozo. The numbers for the left-hander, just his 9th appearance. 9 strikeouts in 6 2/3 innings, just 1 hit allowed.
Well, I don't know if this was to turn Profar around or to get Buttry after walking 3 consecutive to get him out.
Profar fouls the first pitch back. Garcia the right-hander, Mejia the left-hander.
DePozo, lefties hitting 387 against DePozo as opposed to 234 for the righties.
Angels had 10 relievers to choose from. And that's a strike outside corner with an off-speed pitch.
Well, not a terrible pitch. Borderline. See a little bird's eye view. Could have went both ways.
Chris Davis waits in the on-deck circle. Profar is able to lay off another close pitch.
Well, a different approach by Profar from the right side, and of course swings hard from the left side, but he is almost just looking as long as he can to the pitch before he makes a decision. Really moving his body, moving his feet a lot.
And that one misses.
That's a good take. That's a hard breaking ball that you try to get it. He almost got Profar to go through. Watch how he quickly stops his swing right there. Started, then stopped, and got the call. That's a pretty nasty pitch from a pitcher standpoint. Good take by Profar.
Profar with a good rip, fouled it straight back, 96 miles an hour. Three consecutive walks. And that one misses inside. strike zone's moving on Angels relievers.
Yes, it is. Unfortunately, A's are smart enough to take him like that.
Three-two pitch, and he walked in another run.
Another breaking ball.
4 straight walks by the Angels, and now it's 6-5.
You know, Cap, that's 4 consecutive 3-2 counts, and what? One fastball, all breaking balls. With Brad Ausmus going to the pen again. Unbelievable.
So Garcia coming in, and the A's now have a chance to tie it and take the lead.
Remainder of 2019-20. It started at athletics.com/access.
So Luis Garcia is the new pitcher. Chris Davis is the hitter. And the first pitch, that's a ball.
And this is a true workhorse against the Athletics. His 10th appearance he's had against the A's. One in this series already. And from the first pitch breaking ball seems to be the pitch for everybody. He's had a couple of starts in the opener role.
Tying run at third, go ahead run at second. And that's outside, and now it's 2-0. Four straight walks.
Profar started his at bat against Del Pozo 0-2. Worked it to a walk in a run.
Olsen at third, Canna at second, Profar at first. Chris Davis fouls it back. I think relievers that do not throw strikes, it's one of the worst things that can happen on a baseball team.
And unfortunately, it's happened a lot this season.
I mean, it's great if you're the hitters, but just in general, you have to have relievers who can throw strikes.
Well, it's a quick way to find yourself in the long relief role.
In AAA. That one is in for a strike, so 2-2 the count, off speed to KD.
Well, Pinder started this inning a bullet to left field. Hardest ball hit next to Fegley. Noisy got in front of the Fegley 2-run home run. What a base hit to left field, or to right field. Forget about left field.
2-2 pitch in the dirt, and it's another 3-2 count.
Well, a great block by Smith, and of course he called a breaking pitch 2-2. He's been calling a lot of breaking pitches, or at least pitchers have been throwing them, but that is a good block. Used his whole body, his arm, cradled the ball in the right arm. Somebody's calling or wanting to throw a particular pitch, and just curious to see if the calls have come from the catcher on the breaking pitches. So many of them so far this inning.
Slowly hit. Simmons, the only play is going to be to first, and the A's have tied up the game. Chris Davis gets an RBI on the ground out. So the A's have scored 5 times here in the 7th inning.
And it's been a string of incredibly disciplined approaches. A wonderful job of separating balls from strikes. And for Chris Davis, productive outs are what you're looking for in this type of situation here. And though it's not that deep fly ball, everybody moves up, you scratch one across, and that's going to force Brad Ausmus to dip back into that bullpen.
But he's got a switch hitter coming up in Grossman to pinch hit for Pinder. And that's the move that Brad Ausmus is going to make.
All right, pitching change at the Coliseum. So the A's with a 5 spot to tie it up, and now they need a 2-out hit from the pinch hitter Grossman to take the lead. Second and third, the new pitcher is Edilberto Mejia.
Well, the one thing that Grossman has done throughout this season, he has given a quality at bat, whether it's from the left side or the right side. The A's are looking for that right now.
Mejia is the 5th pitcher used in this inning. Grossman center. Trout going back. Trout still going back. Trout leaps. He can't get it. Canis scores. Profar scores. Grossman the third with a 2-run triple.
Well, you love a guy who can take advantage of the moment, and that is what Robbie Grossman has done all season long. You said it, boss. Put together great ABs, but specifically great at bats off the bench in a pinch hitting situation. And Mike Trout, one of the best in the game out there in center, just can't quite corral this baseball. And that's going to get the windmill cranking for Matt Williams, and the Oakland A's are back in business here late in the ball game.
Here's Noisy.
And the thing that Robbie Grossman has talked about, ambushing a pitcher, he did it in Toronto off the bench. He does it this afternoon off the bench. He did it left-handed in Toronto. He does it right-handed today. But he got a first pitch fastball just like he did in Toronto. Drove a 2-run home run. And this time it's a 2-run triple. 4 walks in this inning, and all 4 have come around to score thanks to that big hit by Robbie Grossman. That's a professional hitter. Trout plays deep, still couldn't get it. I thought it was going out, to be honest.
Yep. I don't understand. Noe Ramirez has been up 3 times today, but yet he hasn't come in the game.
Yeah.
I mean,
you're right.
they've used 5 pitchers this half inning.
Make it 6.
And Ramirez isn't one of them. And he keeps getting up.
What do they say? If you get up, you want to get him in? Evidently not the case. Well, Robbie Grossman, here's your first pitch fastball. And, you know, it's maybe Mejia thinking I want to get ahead. Instead, Robbie Grossman, I think he thought he hit it out. Instead, it's off the wall. He's going to score the 2 and then going to get 3 himself. But that is a great quality at bat by a guy who a lot of times will take pitches, but man, twice he has done that.
2-2 to Noisy. Ray, I'm going to make you do a little work here. How many full counts in this inning?
Okay, I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
And this is the 11th.
No, this would be the 6th. This is 6th.
So 6 of 11 have been full counts in this inning.
Yeah. And the fortunate thing, we always talk about free passes. Do they score? Today they have in this inning, and the patience of the A's hitters has just been unbelievable, especially with the 3-2 breaking pitches.
Noisy hits one to center. Trout shading his eyes, and he makes the catch. Monster inning for the Athletics. They score 7 times. The first 2 coming on Fegley's 11th home run of the year, and after that, the walks and the runs just kept on coming. So what an inning. Oh. So what's the breakdown? 7 runs, 4 hits, 4 walks.
Yeah. And 1 Baboomba triple. Not 1 home run, actually 1 home run. The 2-run home run started it.
So Grossman stays in the game in right field when it's time for change. Think Speedy Oil Change and Auto Service, your trusted oil change, tune-up, and smog experts. So Buchter comes in.
It's saying about 7 in the 7th. Well, the A's did it. It's up to Buchter and the rest of the pen. Buchter.
The A's scored more runs than the Angels used pitchers. 7-5 was the total in that half inning.
I do not know the time of the bottom of the 7th inning, but all the time that the A's were hitting, Buchter was up. I don't know how much he was throwing, but he was coming in possibly with the A's trailing. Now he comes in with the A's leading.
So the count 2-0 as that one buzzed Goodwin.
Well, and what Buchter was doing, it's what we call a 1-to-1 approach, and at times can develop into a 2-to-1 approach. For every 2 pitches thrown in the game, you on the mound warming up will throw 1 just to kind of keep that whip nice and tight, keep it nice and warm.
There's a strike.
Now we might mention that there are some pitchers in the bullpen unavailable today. And usage is a big thing, and unfortunately a tragedy in another. But bottom line, you know, we've always said that they can't depend on a certain few. The rest of the guys have to do the job. There's a whole bunch down there. And with Liam Hendriks, the pitcher who will be pitching tomorrow in the suspended game, he is on the mound in Detroit, so it's a 2-2 count. And you can't save him for the 9th because you take him out, he's out of the game.
Yeah, I mean, the thing tomorrow is so strange. There's so much going on.
Yeah.
So you know that you're going to use Liam Hendriks tomorrow.
Yeah, in the 7th inning.
In the 7th inning, yes.
Yeah, he was not the closer in May when the A's were in Detroit.
Yeah.
And he has since become the closer.
So you are absolutely sure you're going to.
Yeah, and if he doesn't pitch that 7th inning, he's done. He can't come in the 9th.
Yeah, it's a case where you might as well use them.
Yeah.
I mean, there is a win staring you in the face that you're 9 outs away from.
Exactly.
So yeah, you're going to use him, of course. He's going to be the first guy that pitches.
And probably the biggest hope would be if the A's could get through the 7th and score 10 on the 8th, you know, and then you didn't have him for the nightcap.
Swing and a miss. Buchter strikes out Goodwin, 1 away.
That's huge.
Stepping up in big spots. Something Buchter himself has talked about wanting to do more of. You know he's got the ability to do it. This entire bullpen chock full with competitive power arms that can get outs when you need them.
Well, to your point, Dallas, there's a pride factor, and because those guys in the pen, like Buchter, like Trevino, like Treinen, these guys know that there are other guys unavailable, and they need to step up, and it's a great opportunity for them to do exactly that.
Here's Upton. Upton goes after the first pitch, fouls it back. Upton has a single, a double, and 3 RBIs today. And a couple of big 2-out hits.
And I don't think it's any mystery when a bullpen is going well. Everybody seems to be kind of falling into place, getting the big outs when they need to. And at times that can be masked by a couple bumpy roads for just a couple individuals. And you can lose sight of the entire body of work of the bullpen over the course of a season, over the long haul. So while things may have been bumpy for a couple of individuals or them as a group at times, you know that they have the confidence in themselves and you know they have the ability to get it done. It's just a matter of execution.
So 0-2 to Upton. Calhoun will be next. And a good sharp slider, and Upton chased it. 2 away here in the top of the 8th inning.
Well, he did come back with a very hard slider. The key there, threw it hard to get the reaction from Upton, who's a very good hitter. But you throw it hard, you throw it softer, you can adjust and maybe take the pitch to throw it hard. Try to get that kind of a swing, which they got for the strikeout, and no waste at all. Got him to chase a bad pitch.
So with 2 outs, Calhoun steps up.
I think Ramirez is coming in for the bottom of the 8th inning.
Yeah, I got to get him in there. Noisy dives, can't get it. So Calhoun has a 2-out single.
Calhoun was just happy that wasn't A.J. Puck.
Well, no reason to wait around. First pitch. Get you a fastball. Try to get something you can handle away from you.
So we got a pitching change here in the top of the 8th. Trevino coming in. Well, this is what the starting pitching matchups look like for the weekend. Of course, we'll get the suspended game going at 5:15, and then the regularly scheduled game, Spencer Turnbull and Homer Bailey on Friday. Saturday night, Jordan Zimmerman and Chris Bassett. And on Sunday, Daniel Norris against Sean Manaea. All the games available right here on NBC Sports California and the My Teams app. So the Tigers coming in. Tigers will be trying to avoid getting to the 100 loss mark. They're 41-97. So it's a weekend that the A's need to take advantage.
Well, they do, and we said it last night in our post game that they need to take advantage of today, and if they can hang on and get 4 more outs, they will have accomplished that. Still a tough road.
Well, it could be a good weekend. The Rays will host the Jays all weekend long. In fact, that starts tonight, and the Indians will be in Minnesota for the weekend. Did he go? No. Almost.
Well, I agree with you, and get a check at first base because Simmons is very aggressive, and there's a case with a lot of body going forward, and we've talked about that, and at least the home plate umpire James Hoyle went to first base. Jake Diekman loosens quickly in the A's bullpen.
Missed again. 2-1.
I think that pitch right there, the hard cutter thrown by Lou Trevino while it was out of the strike zone. I think last year we saw a lot of the hitters swinging at that pitch. And maybe the same with Blake Trinan because it was much different, and maybe the hitters have made adjustments on pitchers in the case of Trinan and Trevino.
Chapman ranging to his left. He'll go across the diamond to first, and that will do it. So hit nothing else. Bottom of the 8th coming up. The A's now leading at 8-6 over the Angels. Toyota 11-0 for the Angels, 8-8-0 for the Athletics. A 7-run 7th inning turned a 6-1 deficit into an 8-6 A's lead. And Marcus Semien 3 more hits. Robbie Grossman with the biggie. A 2-out pinch hit 2-run triple that gave the A's the 8-6 lead. So kind of a wild game. It was all Angels early, and now the A's trying to take advantage of a beat-up Angels bullpen, and they certainly did that last inning. Noe Ramirez comes in for his 43rd appearance. He'll face Fegley, Semien, and Chapman, bottom of the 8th. A's looking for their 81st win of the year. The Indians lost. New first baseman for the Angels is Jared Walsh. Well, if the A's could get a little hang on here and get a little help from the Toronto Blue Jays, they could have the #1 wild card spot by the end of the evening.
Blue Jays have all those young players, and that's got to be pretty special for them, not only for the rest of this season but going forward. And I think you have the schedule for the Blue Jays and the Rays. I think the Rays play the Blue Jays at the end of the season. Is that some reason in Toronto?
Yeah, you know what? Yeah, they have another series against them.
I thought it was the last weekend in Toronto.
You may be right. Let me check. Yeah, the last 3 games of the year, the Rays will be in Toronto. So
this is huge right here. Fastball and just, I mean, that's what you do. You're down 5. You figure he's going to throw a fastball, load it up, and let it go. And Josh Beckley did it. And that got him going. That made it 6-3. And then all of a sudden, Marcus Semien, little opposite field base hit. He's off to the races and have the lead, needing 3 more outs.
Up the middle. Right there is Rengifo to Walsh, 1 away. So it hit the mound and then popped up a little bit, but still a tough hop for Rengifo, and he stayed with it.
Number 10, Marcus Semien.
And here's Marcus Semien, another big day. Been on base all 4 times. 2 singles, a double. He was drilled in the ribs with a pitch in the first inning. It has to have left a mark, unfortunately, for Marcus.
And you could say, well, the 3 hits maybe have helped that. No, I'm sorry.
The only thing that's going to make it feel better is an ice bag.
Yeah. But I would venture to say then he'll be back out there tomorrow.
And that one under the glove of Fletcher, and it rolls down toward the bullpen. And Marcus Semien is going to get to second, and he'll stop there. He's been on base again 5 times. We'll see what the ruling is.
Give him a double.
Yeah, I'd like a double as well. Taking advantage of a pitch just kind of right down Broadway, really.
If Pujols gets a hit, that better be a double.
I'm with you. David Fletcher trying to play it on the backhand.
Number 26.
Ball stays down.
No way.
They gave an error. I'm sorry.
You going down?
Absolutely. Absolutely. I will go after this half inning. That's ridiculous.
You know what? You have to let us know ahead of time because we got to get our cameras set up properly.
That's ridiculous. Come on. That's not even. He might not have thrown him out if he catches the ball, much less. I mean, if it's a degree of difficulty, you can't tell me that's not as difficult as the one that Chapman had.
That was a more difficult play than the Chapman play.
Absolutely.
Well, yeah, you're talking about a ball hit hard. You're talking about him having to range to his right. There's probably a minimal shot of getting the runner out.
Plus, it was an in-between hop. Watch the in-between hop.
I mean,
that's it right there.
Exactly. You can't tell me. Art, come on, look at that, Art. Gosh, that's ridiculous.
I don't want to write it down yet. One and one to Matt Chapman. Chapman has walked twice, struck out twice, and scored a run. He had one of those walks in that 7th inning. Walsh hustling into foul territory, and he makes the catch. Well, the foul territory there got Matt Chapman, unfortunately.
Looks like Jake Diekman's going to get the job to try to close it out. And essentially walk Matt Olson. Matt did. He dropped his bat on the way to the plate.
Number 28, Matt Olson has received an intentional walk. Now batting center fielder, number 20, Mark Canha.
So Canha will hit. So 2 on, 2 out.
Tell you what, I'd take my chances right here. Granted, it's righty on righty, but the way Mark Canha, his approach has been unbelievable.
And a couple of RBIs today. The base hit in the 1st, and then the bases loaded walk in the 7th. So he's got 51 RBIs.
I still got my white out on Pujols.
Yeah, I know. I
inning.
am mine too. We were both wrong.
Wow. No, we were right.
We've
been right on both cases.
Hey, Dallas, now correct me if I'm wrong. 1's a fastball, 2's a curve, 3's a slider?
That's roughly in the neighborhood.
Okay. Just wanted to double
Well,
check.
runner at second, though, we got to go multiples. All these guys are cheating.
That's true.
Yeah.
So that,
You got to factor that in, too.
got to factor that in, and that just confuses everybody more.
Yeah, and then maybe there's one of those cameras that's maybe a spy in center field and relaying the signs. Somebody up on Mount. No, nobody's on Mount Davis.
No,
It's closed. It's
I,
closed.
I like the word trying better.
Seven pitchers used for the Angels.
Suarez went 5 1/3. Mistake he made was giving up a home run to Fegley.
Two and one. Slider for a strike. Probably Ramirez's best pitch.
Yes, it is. Yeah.
To wrap that slider.
Well, especially, I mean, that's the old pitching backwards in a sense. At 2-1 fastball count, you throw soft, go breaking ball, which he did. Of course, it's one of those kind of backed up a little bit as well.
Oh, and that hits Canada. Let's hope Mark's okay. Second most times in the American League hit by a pitch.
But how many for the A's total? It's got to be close to approaching 70 or something. Did I read 65 at one time? And that's a lot. That ball just, he got under it and just kept running. Fortunately, got him in the elbow pad.
Number 23.
Till the thud had to feel it.
Well, and with Ramirez and his arm slot kind of slinging it, you're going to see if he starts to get underneath that baseball, you're not going to get that sink. You're going to get that sort of run and ride. And it's going to continue to chase those righties inside, and that's what happened to Canna.
So Profar hits with the bases loaded. Shallow center. Trout coming in, and it's going to fall.
He didn't see it.
2 runs are going to score, and the A's tack on. It's 10-6.
Well, for starters, let's just hope this isn't an E8. Let's hope they throw that double up there, or that single up there, excuse me, because that's exactly what this is. This is a hit that you absolutely need right now if you're the Oakland A's. You need breaks like this, and they'll take it. One of the best in the game, Mike Trout. We talk about how deep he plays center field.
And you combine the depth in which he plays and then the sun in his face, that's a bad combination to have. Because he could not see the ball as he was coming in. And it wasn't a deke either. No reason to deke with 2 outs.
So Profar has 3 RBIs today. Give him 63 on the year.
And you know, Kai, in Dallas, you count since the 7th inning, which is last inning, the A's have 10 runs on the board. 5 walks have scored. The intentional walk to Matt Olson, they scored.
And there's also the Simeon play, which was ruled an error. He scored. Canna hit by a pitch that extended this inning. So it has been a full disaster for the Angels bullpen in the last 2 innings.
Well, it just goes to show how important 90 feet is. You cannot give away 90 feet at the big league level.
Davis hits this one toward left center, but it's going to hang up for Goodwin. So the A's get a couple of big insurance runs.
Your California 4 did is what a day it has been for the Athletics, and it starts right there with Josh Fedley. A 2-run home run. You think, well, it's just 6-3, but the A's just kept coming with Robbie Grossman, a 2-run triple off the center field wall, and that would give the A's a 2-run lead. They've added 2 more in the 8th inning. Unbelievable comeback by the Athletics. And Kipe, you know what? Kind of look at this game today, almost like the 20-game win streak. There was a game in Detroit. The A's were down by 6-7 runs. All of a sudden, they come from behind and win it.
And really, I mean, it was a little bit dead for the first 6
Absolutely. I mean, Suarez, he's facing a pitcher for the first time, but he pitched well, and the A's came to life.
Diekman, first pitch strike to Rengifo. So Jake Diekman's going to try to get the final 3 outs. He is the 5th pitcher in the game for the Athletics.
And Kuiper still say, you said it best, the home run gets you back. Well, it turned a 6-1 into 6-3, and there's the life.
Yep.
Turned it around for the A's. And those extra 2 runs really make a huge difference for Jake Diekman coming in, and means that you can put a runner on base. You don't have to worry about the long ball. Hey, they took the 1 down off of the Angels up there. Put a 0.
Did they? All right,
yeah.
Good.
Oh.
So Rengifo strikes out for the 3rd time, and that was one of the better sliders we've seen from Diekman, and he's got a pretty good one.
Well, I tell you what, I was watching Deke go to work today early on before the game, and this was on full display. An absolutely disgusting slider. And that sends Rengifo back to the dugout. Get your vomit buckets, folks.
Well, in this series, in the 3 games, it's not quite over yet, but the bullpen has been pretty good.
Yeah.
The only 2 runs they've allowed, 2 solo home runs. The one today was by Kevin Smith. That was allowed by Puck. Over the mound, Noisy steps on the bag and throws to first. So Sheldon Noisy, he knew the bag was there. It looked like he may have stepped right on it. Didn't bother him at all, and he throws to first, 2 outs.
Well, and he's talked about making the adjustments this side of the bag here. A wonderful job of just kind of cruising around, getting around the ball. And you're right, stepping on the bag. Hey, get everything involved here. Because if he tries to make a different step or makes an awkward step, that could completely change his line of sight, the angle in which he can throw the ball.
So here's Fletcher. Fletcher 2 for 4. He's had a good series. 6 hits in the series. Strike on the inside corner. Straightaway defense for Fletcher. To Chapman. Chapman scoops, throws, and that's a sweep, folks. So the Oakland A's finish it off, and they do it thanks to a huge 7th inning, and they come back from a 6-1 deficit. Congratulations to A.J. Puck. He gets his first big league win with a couple innings of relief. So the A's now will get ready for what they hope is a huge weekend against the Tigers, but they are heating up at the perfect time, folks, and they are now tied for the top wild card spot in the American League. Time of game was 3 hours and 8 minutes. The attendance was 14,013. Final score this afternoon, the A's sweep the Angels. A's 10, Angels 6. Time now for A's Postgame Live, brought to you by Toyota. Let's head back to the studio and Brody Brazil.